Hi, my name is Stephen Flanders, and this is the second of the installments of 15 Minutes to Save America. This is the one that we're going to go into how the media has been controlled down through the years. Now, a lot of us are under, a lot of us realize how much the media has been controlled in modern times. Got a book here written by Ben Bagdikian years ago about the media monopoly. He made the point back in the 1980s that 27 people could be in one room, a large dinner party, and they would control 100% of the electronic media of the day and like 90% of all print media. And things haven't really changed much since then. Maybe gotten a little worse with the shadow banning, and it's not quite as direct. It seems like there's more voices, but there's actually not. But the problem began a lot longer ago than we realize, and it has a major effect on our society. Uh, Really, it started in 1844 with the invention of the telegraph. People might think what a great invention it was. But what the telegraph did was enable the wealthy to take control of the media by changing the market. Basically, anybody wealthy enough to own a newspaper and be able to string a telegraph wire from Washington to New York or from Chicago to New York, they could get the news 2 days ahead of all the other newspapers. And it was pretty important news. You know, it was legislation being passed, what was being done in Congress. So it was a real advantage to any businessman to get that information. People ordering things, just that newer information quicker gave them a real advantage. And with that advantage and some smart business work, they started selling advertising because their circulation started going up. As their circulation started going up and they started selling advertising, they could sell their newspapers for less. So you had the penny newspapers rise up. And while the government was not controlling what the press was saying, as the founders always wanted, the wealthy got to where they pretty much dominated the news because they not only had their own newspapers, but anybody that was going to compete had to subscribe to a wire service and also sell advertising. So that over the course of not too many decades, effectively the wealthy became dominant in the media. Uh, Not real easy to document a lot of this. There's a few places you can see hints of it. A lot of people are aware of the Hearst newspapers having pretty much fomented the Spanish American War. A lot of other people, they're not as aware of the Flexner Report and how John D. Rockefeller and the Hearsts also colluded and worked together to get the Food and Drug Administration put in, change our medical system to where it was just pharmaceuticals, and a lot of other things where the domination of the press became something that really affected our society. The best reference I can give to this, other than what I'm going to follow on with corporate personhood, was the book The Wizard of Oz. It was written in 1899, or at least published in 1899. And under the surface, it has a big warning about this, in that you've got to read the novel to see this, but everybody going into the city of Oz, when Dorothy and the gang, the Cowardly Lion, the Tin Woodsman, and the Scarecrow go into Oz, they are mandated, they are required to put on green glasses that are fitted to their head. They're not allowed to take them off while they're in Oz, and they have to take them off when they leave. But in the book, even it says that because of the green glasses, everybody thought things were beautiful there, when actually they were kind of run down and shabby looking, but everything looked green. And that's really about the only reference you can find to the control of the media tainting how people saw things. But as late as 1927, the media was so controlled, or getting that way, that there was a court case. And once again, it's a little hard to find this, but there was one called the Red Lion that related to it. But the Supreme Court ruled long about 1927, when radio was definitely coming up and television was on the horizon. They said that the emerging electronic media was so powerful that if we didn't find a way to ensure that there was a free marketplace of ideas, it would jeopardize our entire way of life. And that's really what's happened. So that's the end of this particular segment of 15 Minutes to Save America. I don't know if they're all going to go to 15 minutes or not, but that's kind of the way I like to do things. I don't want to go on and on and on and make you watch 90 minutes of video to get 3 minutes of content. And I've also found, even though things are written, and I'll go to that real quick here, which is looking at. Anyway, the blog is titled lifeinafascistcountry.blogspot.com. There is, below that is the link to the entire content. It's really a book length link, which has a bunch of links in it, so it's quite a bit to read. How and why to save America. And the why these days, I think, is just as important as the how. People have forgotten why America is such a good idea. Anyway, it goes Telegraph 1844, Press Control, Corporate Personhood 1886, 16th and 17th Amendments. Also, Government by Experts, 1933, FDR, Fascist Coup, Socialism, Social Security. 1947, the First Amendment got twisted. Loss of local community moral self-government. The lost blessings of liberty, and that is really getting into the why America was such a good idea and how it can be restored. And reform and refound, and how to do that, and how to get to where we can actually have that discussion by having a true public forum. That, then, is where I'm going with these. And I know I don't like to be led astray and led along like a puppy dog and just being told what to do, and blindly being led along by the nose. I want to know what's going on and where it's going, and that's where I'm going. I'm going to explain things more in detail on each one of these things in these 15-minute segments. So I hope you stay with me, share this, and see you when I publish number 3.